I think what is very important is the fundamental curiosity and going ahead and trying to execute, right? Like exploring new tools. There are so many new things are coming every day. Trying to explore these new things. And second is learning on the go, right? I think that is very important. One question I have for all of you, right? And think deeply on this question. 10 years down the line, what do you think AI could do? Not 5 years, 10 years. Or let's just take it 5 years. 5 years down the line, what do you think AI can do? Answer cannot be everything. Be very specific about examples of what AI can do in 5 years. Movies, very interesting example, Jatin. By the way, Amazon Prime has recently launched its own AI model for dubbing. So, like 70% people in the world today. Actually, I'll just show you the news article also for that. Amazon dubbing AI. So it's all over the news also. I'll just quickly show you guys how interesting it is. Yeah, Amazon dubbing AI. So if you can see, Amazon has launched a new AI dubbing model in English and Spanish right now, but it's going to go in 50 languages soon. So the insight here is that 70% people in the world today only speak one language, right? So imagine if Amazon Prime is able to create an AI for dubbing in like 50 languages, it can make its consumption, it can increase its consumption at least by 2x. Can be a teacher, right? Fantastic. Reporters, cook food, restaurants absolutely can replace journalists as they speak fast and provide more information. What else? Taking care of people. Avantika, can you just add a couple of lines on how AI could take care of people? Early disease detection. So there is a company called Cure.ai. So Cure.ai, Qure.ai is fundamentally an interesting tool, interesting platform which solves healthcare, right? Early disease detection, and I'll show you their website also. Very advanced AI. See, world's most adopted healthcare AI. So they basically detect diseases very early on, and it's a very large company of India, of US. They are scaling. So a lot of things are happening in AI right now already. What else? So this is not 5 years later. This is happening now. It can create apps itself and games according to demand of a user. So there is one company called Lovable, and I want you all to try this tool out also. Lovable.dev. So this is a platform. I actually want you all to go ahead and try this out, right? So for example, let's say I want to code. What should I write? What kind of app should I build? Give me an idea on chat, guys. What kind of an app idea do you have? Can you see my Lovable interface, guys? Quickly, can you all see my Lovable interface? Yes. Give me an app idea. Let me just type and see what it does. Let's talk about an AI math tutor. AI math tutor. Let's do that. Perfect. Create an AI math tutor which uses ChatGPT to answer math problems. Let's see what it does. Okay. This is a crazy software. Huh? I discovered it very recently. So we have given it a task. So right now it's writing all the code out there for me. Like literally anything out there in coding, it's writing the code end to end. Can you imagine the power of AI today? Although it can create very basic apps, right? Like don't rely on it for like this can only create your MVP or like first version of your ideas. Don't expect it to create complicated apps. There are still developers who are required to do that. How cool is this on scale of 1 to 10? What do you guys think? Give me a thumbs up if you find it cool. I'll show you the output also, how it looks. Guys, I need 50 thumbs up so that I at least know that you are aware. So now it has written all the code down for us. Now it is creating a preview version for me. It's still writing the code. Can you imagine? This is like a month of hard work. But yeah, again, I'm saying that do not think that you will create like a full-fledged app using this. This will just create like an initial prototype to test out your ideas. So it's generating. Now the app is ready. Let's see how it looks. So it's still loading. But yeah, I have one more question for you. What else can happen with AI today? Meanwhile, until it loads, I have a question. With prompt engineering, it might even do something complex. Fair. What else? So like I can see, it's still loading. But yeah, it can write good code at least. That's something which we have predefined, that it definitely writes good code. Spinning up the sandbox. But yeah, I'll show you the output as it's ready. AI can create 3D models of our imagination. Do you guys really think that AI can create 3D models? How many of you think? Not so soon. Okay. AI can create an app. Okay, I think let's get started before even Siddharth sir comes in, right? So, do you guys know about my background? Let me quickly tell you before SST what I was doing. So before SST, I had my own AI startup called FastHR.ai. We created AI agents for recruitment for 150 plus tech companies out there across the world. Right? So imagine we were creating AI agents in GPT 2.0, GPT 2.5, very slow, almost redundant, right? Yeah, perfect. So very redundant, right, in its own way. So my question to all of you is, so while I was building this, right, it was very interesting. So you know what was common between you guys and me? I did not know to code back then. And that's when essentially I started like figuring out how to build a career in AI in tech. So I became a founder because I had that experience, but not everybody can become a founder, right? So what are the different career opportunities for you? Uh, any ideas? Quickly put on chat. What can you do after studying computer science and AI? What all different career options according to you exist? Quickly, give me on chat. Data scientist, robotics. What else? Okay, game dev, app dev. Okay, Okay, fantastic. I think I'm getting a lot of interesting answers. So let's start with the first one, right? Which is your software developer. The most basic one, software developer. So in software development, according to all of you, can you all hear me? And we are also going to use Google for this, right? Like I think, or let's just use ChatGPT for taking this session. Quickly, guys, what should I use, right? ChatGPT, or should I use Google, or should I use what? Google. Cloud. Let's use cloud. A cloud is boring, but let me use ChatGPT. It's very simple. So here I go on ChatGPT. Again, like maybe we are turning this into reality, like teaching via ChatGPT. Can you imagine? So there are fundamentally software engineering as three parts, right? Like first is a front end developer. Front end developer. What does a front end developer do? That's a big question. So front end developer is basically someone who is creating the front end of your app, all the UX, UI, everything, right? So let's just open a website. Let's open something called as a let's open Flipkart. Interestingly, Amazon is running ads before Flipkart. So this is the Flipkart website. Can you all see the Flipkart website, everybody? Awesome. We are going to do everything hands-on, right? I'll give you one thing. At SST, we don't do any theory. So everything will be example driven. So when I go here, I will right click and I will click on something called as inspect. Can you see this? Can you see? Everybody, give me a yes if you can see. Can you see the inspect? In inspect, you will see different fonts. You will see HTML, something called as HTML written here, right? You will see style, you will see ID, you will see class, you will see div, you will see a lot of these different things, right? So this is essentially front end. Front end takes care of UX and UI, which is essentially like, think of it like your design, your customer experience, right? So this is what front end takes care of. Front end is what customers see. So you developing that, it's called front end. What are the different technologies you work on front end with? You work on React.js, there is Node, there is React.js, there is Next.js, there is HTML, CSS. Absolutely. The basics, right? Now let's talk about what is backend. Okay. So let's say I click on this watch. Now when I click on this watch, I want to add this watch to I go and add this watch to add to cart. Now what's happening is it is taking me to the cart, right? And let's say now if I want to place the order, so what happens? It's asking me to fill my data. Number one. 1 second. So yeah, I'm filling in my data here. Let's say I fill my data, I fill my address, I fill everything. And then that data gets captured on the backend, right? So what is backend? Backend is, think of it like all the processes which it has to do to process your data, send your order to the warehouse where your order gets picked up. Then that warehouse is taking a note of your order tag. It's shipping your order to your place and then your order arrives, right? This entire process is done by tech backend infrastructure. Imagine millions of people are visiting Flipkart's website today, clicking on different items every day, right? Clicking on so many different items. They are essentially trying to see which items are getting sold. So for example, if I go back to Flipkart website, why is this Flipkart choice? One thing is this company would have paid Flipkart. Second is because this is getting sold the most, right? So this data Flipkart gets with all the data stored on databases, which is MongoDB most likely. So that's fundamentally your backend engineering. Node.js, MongoDB, Python, Django stack you use on backend, right? So you become a backend developer. A full stack developer is somebody who knows both front end and backend. So these are the three opportunities you can look at. On an average, a front end, back end, or a full stack developer gets paid anywhere between 8 lakh to 16 lakhs to start with. And then that can increase as you get experience. Now, after this, imagine, let's say I go to Flipkart. I click Flipkart. Now, Flipkart is showing me this banner on the top, right? Why is it showing me certain items on the top than bottom, right? Because Flipkart is trying to show me items which have the highest probability of getting sales or which are the most popular items, right? So let's say I click on mobiles as a category. On mobiles as a category, I want to use a filter. Let's say I want only to look at Apple, or I want to look at devices which are most popular. I want to filter or sort. Filtering, sorting, this is essentially what I'm doing by popularity. So this is the most popular device right now, Realme P3, correct? Now, what does a data engineer or data scientist do? A data scientist will look at all the data. So let's say if 1 million people have clicked on this and maybe 50,000 of them have bought, and this has the highest sales of all the phone devices, it will push it on the top, stating that this is the most popular device, right? So data scientists and data analyst, or like data analyst and data scientists, are fundamentally responsible for essentially optimizing the data, right? Creating some predictive analytics and predicting what might be the future. Like either it can find correlation regression, you all have studied, right? Do you all remember what correlation regression is? So you find correlation between two dependent factors, right? Like let's say if Diwali is increased, if there is, why has my sales on Flipkart increased like so much today? Because probably it's Diwali. So is Diwali a factor? What's the correlation of it being Diwali and my sales increasing? That's what a data analyst does. Then there is regression, right? Like you find like a, what is the measures of dispersion, standard deviation. So these are clustering, factoring, different type of analytics you do, right? And then that is what you can do, what the data scientists do. Essentially, data scientists also get paid between 10 to 15 LPA kind of jobs, right? So far, so clear. We have learned about software and web development. Then we have learned about data management and analytics. Now, do you guys want to know exact step by step what skills you require to learn data science? Do you guys want to learn these skills? Perfect. First, you should start with SQL as a language, guys. PostgreSQL. I'll also maybe we'll ask ChatGPT also. What do you think? I think Siddharth sir is also here.
Yes.
So let me quickly introduce Siddharth sir. Siddharth sir has been an engineering leader in his own accord, built some of the most amazing products in the startup ecosystem we have seen today. And he's one of the head faculties and academics at Scalar School of Technology, one of the highest rated faculties. And I think there is no better person out there than Siddharth sir to talk about different careers in computer science and AI. So Siddharth sir, what I've done so far is I have given them an example of what a front end back end developer do, giving an example of Flipkart website.
Sure. Yeah.
Told them about CSS, HTML, backend page, Node.js, MongoDB broadly. And
Okay.
now we were talking about how to build a career in data science and analytics, right? So just
Got
started off telling them about SQL
got it.
as since it's the easiest language to pick up for these 12th
Right.
graders.
Right.
So over to you from here to take it forward.
Sure. Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Yash, for explaining all of these concepts to our learners. Um, I'll quickly take a minute to introduce myself. I am Siddharth and I work with Scalar as Director of Technology. And I've been working with Scalar for around 5.5 years. I've taught a lot of students in college, a lot of students in who are working professionals as well. So lot of students. You can connect with me anytime if you need any guidance around how to join SST, what you need to do, right? Um, all of these things I'll be very happy to guide you all, as you are the future generation who is going to take things forward, right? And who is going to make sure that the computer and AI world is going to survive as we go ahead. So very happy to be here today. Right. So what have we covered till now? We have covered that what is front end, what is web development, right? So you know, you have understood what is web development and what are the skills that are required for it. That is HTML, there is HTML, there is CSS, there is JavaScript, there is React, there is then all the backend technologies like Java, PHP, Node.js, all of these. So you might have already known all of this, right? Right? You already might have an idea around this. Yash would have already explained it to you. So great on that part that you have an idea around it. Now, a very, very recent trend you would have seen is, and the rage is AI, artificial intelligence, right? Have you seen what all AI can do? Have you seen what all AI can do? What are the capabilities of um, AI that are there, and have you? What are the some of the things that you have explored? What are some of the things that you have explored in AI? Just want to understand from all of you. What are some of the things that you have explored in AI with the usage of Chat GPT or any other tool? But just few video generation, okay, cyber security, great. What else have you explored? Editing code. You have written code using AI? Yes. Debugging, right? 11 labs. Okay. Great, great, great. Let me just show you a demo of how much the AI has changed things and how much things are automated now, right? Okay, conclusion of a video without watching the whole video. That is also great. That is also great, right? Now over here, I have added a plugin known as Klein into my cursor code base. What I can do is over here I can generate code using AI. In this, I can generate code using AI. See, all of this code that you see has been generated using AI, and it tells you exactly the amount of cost it takes to generate this code. How many of you have tried this? How many of you have tried this? Has anybody tried this? Yes, all of you? Some of you? Over here, if I say generate a page for maybe page like Flipkart's e-com listing, right? Now it will start generating. See, it will start generating. You will see that how it starts generating. Like Flipkart's e-com listing, it's doing the API request. See, all this code is getting written on its own. I am not doing anything. Yeah, it's not obviously as perfect as it would be written by a human, but definitely something that is amazing is that all of this is getting done on its own, right? All of this is getting done on its own. So obviously, if you get this code generated from AI and there is some issue in this code, you won't exactly know what needs to be done by you. I've just cancelled it. I just wanted to show that to you how this is working, right? But this is the power of AI. This is the power of artificial intelligence, right? That you can explore how artificial intelligence is doing things. Now let's understand how all of this is happening, how all of this is happening, right? If you would have heard of these terms, machine learning, data science, right? All of these things are intermingled. AI, machine learning, data science, all of these things are intermingled. All of these things are combined with each other, right? So there is a lot of training data that goes in the background, which trains your machine, and which in turn in the end is used with AI. Now you can take an example, right? You can take an example. So now when I asked it to write this code, how did it know that this is how it can write the code? How did it know that this is the code it has to write? How did artificial intelligence know? How did it know that this is the code that I have to write? This is how exactly how I need to write. How did the machine learn? How did the machine learn that this is the code that it has to write? How did it learn? Any idea? From data, right? From data. So basically what happens is that you will be given huge amount of data. Like imagine that billions of websites would be scrapped, and so you will go and search, create Flipkart like website. Now there would be multiple articles, right? All of these would be taken over one by one, and all of this data would be combined into tokens. One particular token would be made, and all of this data would be kept at some place. So this all process is known as data science. This process is known as data science, right? Process of collection of data and making some sense out of that data is known as data science. Now the data you are over looking over here is millions of lines of data, right? All of that data is then useless, right? It is pretty much useless. How would you know that this is the part of the thing that I need to return in an ocean of data? How would you know that this is the particular part that I need to return? This is the particular part that I need to return. So then what happens is that you will do some sort of similarity searches. So there is cosine similarity search that is done, where you will see that okay, the user is asking for Flipkart, user is asking for website like Flipkart, right? All of these terms would be taken together, and the similarity to what data the machine has, you will go to that particular point, and from that data you will extract out exactly the thing that you need to do. Now extracting out would be done, but after the extraction is done, you still need to make sure that you are presenting to the end user in a good way, in a good manner. That is where your artificial intelligence comes into picture, which is, there is a very good thing over here which is known as gen AI, right? Generative AI. So this chat gpt, we would see that it has a lot of data. It is trained on huge amount of data. On that data, then the data is presented to you in a particular manner which makes sense to you. If I give you that particular line in way of data that I have stored, it won't make much sense to you, right? Manisha, Nitesh, all of you, all of that data would be pretty much useless to you if you are getting that data in a raw format. You have to make it in a particular good format and then give it to you. Imagine it in a real world scenario, right? You go for an exam, right? When you go for an exam, before that exam you learn a large amount of things, right? Imagine you learn from your NCRT books, you learn from your RD Sharma, RS Agarwal books, HC Verma, Erodo, whatever book you have, you learn from that. Now when you have learned so much, the data is kept in your brain in a particular manner. Imagine that data is kept in tokens, that this particular question has this particular line, this particular line has this particular answer, all of that is kept. Now you see a question in your exam. Now what do you start doing? You start imagining where would you have seen that data, what part of your brain that data is kept in, right? Right? Yes, everyone, you will have that particular part of your brain from where that data would be extracted. Now whatever data comes to your mind, someone would remember the part in Hindi, someone would remember the data in Telugu, someone would remember the data in Punjabi, someone would remember the data in English. All of them, you would keep that data in your head in a particular way. Now you can't give that into, you can't write that into your answer paper, right? You can't do that. You have to write in a particular manner, you have to write it in a particular format so that you get good marks. All of that is now customized and presented, right? So Hani says, right? So that is your generative AI. So there is large language models which are trained on data, which will be trained on so much data, and that data then it would be presented to the end user. Does that make sense what your artificial intelligence machine learning is? Right? So now these all, like your artificial intelligence and machine learning, your software development, all of these places are your next places where you can end up landing a job. You can get a good job in these areas, because these are the areas that are going to remain in the hot market for at least next 10 to 15 years. So right now is the time when you get into these technologies. I'll talk about more. We have talked about artificial intelligence, data science, machine learning, all of this we have talked about, right? Now let's talk about more, that what is your data, cyber security. Let's talk about this cyber security. This is also a domain that a lot of you would be interested in, whether I can make a career into this domain, whether it is right for me or not. Should I, right, should I go ahead and learn cyber security, right? So now imagine a scenario that you got your laptop, friend's laptop open, or your sister's laptop open, or your brother's laptop open, and you went and did something in their Facebook. On their Facebook, you went and posted something on their behalf, or you tried to extract their password, right? What is this? Is this a some sort of hacking? Is this some sort of hacking? Is this some sort of um, issue to? Is this some sort of um, security concern that you have done? Yes, this is hacking. This is the hacking to the first level, right? You are trying to get the information of someone without the getting into someone's system without their consent. So you have gotten into the system of your brother, sister, or your friend without their consent. Now what has happened over here? You have, without letting them know as well, right? So this is a security threat. This is hacking, right? Now there are lots and lots of people that try to hack into your system without getting into your physical space, without them getting onto your laptop. What they will do is that you will try to download some game. They will, you down when you double click it, they will download a file. They'll download something into your laptop where every key that you type would be noted down. Phishing is something else. This is basically where they will, yes, keylogger, Aditya, you are right. So now what they would do is that every type thing that you type, they will capture that, and they will try to find your password. Sometimes what would happen is they will you will get a mail from Facebook saying that your account has been logged. Click on this link to unlock your account, and when you go to a website, it will look exactly like Facebook. Exactly like Facebook. When you try to enter something, they will take your password and they will log into your system on your behalf. Something similar would be done in your banking websites. This is just the basic level of hacking that I am telling to you, right? Now there are multiple places where what people do is, you can imagine a scenario where you are a company which has just gotten very very famous suddenly. Now lot of people, you would have seen that with that happened with DeepSeek as well. They said that our systems are under stress because of lot of cyber attacks that are happening onto us, right? What people do is they will hit your server with infinite number of calls so that your server goes down, and you are going to your website is going to crash, and people are going to understand that you are not that secure. So all of this comes under cyber security, and you can be someone who understands all of this. You can be someone who understands all of this, and you can start learning, right, how to prevent these types of attacks, right? You have to learn how to prevent these types of attacks, right? DDoS attack, right? Phishing. I'll write just few of them, right? So now what you have to do in cybersecurity is you have to learn how to stop a DDoS attack, how to stop all of these attacks. What are the different things that you can do in order to make your website safer? Your web developers would write their code, a security engineer would go and find loopholes in the code. There is something known as soc 2 compliance, there is something known as other type of compliances as well, which are something that you have to learn how to learn all of that. If you are interested, then you will get to become a cyber security expert. Does cyber security make sense, everyone? What cyber security is? Right? All right. Great, 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 great. Now, coming to the next thing. Now we have talked about cyber security. We have talked about web development, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We already talked about data management and analytics, right? Did you are all clear with this data management and analytics, right? We did talk about it, right? So let's skip that now. Let's talk about robotics. Let's talk about robotics and autonomous systems. Now, what exactly is robotics? What exactly do you do, right, in your robotics or autonomous systems? What exactly would you do in terms of robotics? You would have seen, right, movies like Transformers. You would have seen movies like these where there is a robot that would be fighting, and your robot would have a lot of intelligence, right? Nvidia, yes, you would have seen that Nvidia also yes, just like Real Steel. Nvidia also launched a very cute kind of Disney robot which you can use, which I don't think you would be able to use right now, but it's nice that the people are moving in this direction. So when I was in college back in 2010, right, one of my friend made a mind control robot. So what you had to do, he would put something on your head, and whatever you imagine in your mind that the robot should go to right or left, and you blink, it will go to that right direction or to the left direction based on what you are thinking in your mind, right? From 2010 to time today, the things have changed significantly, right? Now with the rise of AI, with the rise of data, with the rise of autonomous system, there are self-driving cars that are coming into the picture. There are robots that can be controlled, that can be self-controlled, right? How would that happen? So let's understand a scenario like when you talk to someone. Let me just show you a demo so that I'll be able to make you understand things better, how you can do all of this, right? Let me just show you a demo. I don't have a robot right now, but I'll show you a demo of a website, right? I'll show you a demo of the of a website. One second. Yes, cabs in China, they are fully self autonomous, and they run on autonomously, right? So see, this is a demo that we have. This is a scaler. This is a mock interview taking platform that we have built internally for Scaler, right? Over here, it takes an interview for you. You can. Hi, thanks for interviewing with us. Today we have a programming language round, and I will be asking you questions related to JavaScript. Just to start with, do you have any prior experience in JavaScript? Can you hear what it said? Could you hear the voice? There is no other person on the other side. It is an AI that is talking to you, right? Now, if I talk to it, yes, I have prior experience in JavaScript. See, it's able to take my voice and convert it. Now I send it. It will then send some response back. Great. Let's start with the first question. What is the difference between deep copy and shallow copy in JavaScript? Right now, over here, what is exactly happening? What are the different parts and elements to this? The different parts and elements to this is that there is a voice that is getting converted to your voice is getting converted to text. That text is then sent to OpenAI. OpenAI is responding to you based on what the text that you have, and then that text is converted to audio, and then it is played to you. Right? Imagine if you had to do it in a robot, if you had to do it in a hardware, you could do exactly the same, right? There is a large language model that is running on the back. Your audio is getting converted. That data is then sent to the um, OpenAI, or that model. It sends back to you uh, it sends back to you the data. The data is the text. Then the text is converted into audio, and then audio is played to you. Right? This is just AI chatbot. Yes, I'm saying that using this, you can imagine how a robot would work, right? I'm just telling you the internals of how it is going to work. The robot is going to be the hardware that you would have to build. All of those things then would involve your Raspberry Pis and all of those circuits and microprocessors, and all of that would come into the picture. I'm saying the AI part of it, what NVIDIA robot that you would have seen. Why was it intelligent? Why is it intelligent? Why is it done? Doing things on its own. That is what is going to happen in the robot, right? So there is AI, there is data, there is machine learning, and then there is robotics, right? So your robotics is where you are going to use your Raspberry Pis, right? And you would use your microprocessors, and all of those things would be taken into building a robot. That robot would then be trained on the data. So the data part, the autonomous part. So now how does Tesla self drive? How does Tesla self drive? Right? Basically what happens is it is trained on a set of data, that this is a road, this is a lamp, this is a um, tree, this is a dog, this is a human, this is a cat. All the things that it can be trained on, it is trained on. So the machine now knows all of these things are objects, and it has to go away from those objects. It is then told that these are the two white lines that you have to walk drive on. This, in front of you there is a car, there could be a tail lamp on that car. You have to follow that particular tail lamp in order to go straight. All of this is now based on the training data. All of this training data is then taken into the picture, and that based on that data it is able to do that artificial intelligence, and an autonomous system is able to run. But the part where this data is taken, how it is taken, how it is fed, is using your microprocessors, your Raspberry Pis. All of this is then combined together to make a robot or an autonomous system. So I saw someone message that there is a chip that would be added, chips, and all of that is just to provide you compute power. The compute power is going to help you run these systems, right? Because there is huge amount of data that would be kept. That data would be churned in. From that data, you would take that data, you would then take an output from that data, and then you would deliver to the end. That guard would keep moving. So those chips are to fetch the data, compute the data. All of those things are done using this. So this is what your robotics and autonomous systems are, right? Now let me move forward to something known as cloud computing and infrastructure. How many of you have heard of this cloud computing and infrastructure? I will probably do that in the end, Ishan, right? But let me just cover whatever the rest of the things are, then probably we'll jump to it in the end. Now, in a cloud computing or an infrastructure, let's first understand. Did you all understand what web development is? Right? You understood what web development is. You understood what AI is. You understood what data science is, right? All of these things are run on what? All of these things are run on a machine. All of these things are run on a computer, on a machine, right? That particular machine, you could have it at your house, right? You could say that I will convert my house to a server room. I will run 1 lakh servers in one place. I will run 1000, say suppose computers, or at my house, which would have the compute power, which would do multiple things for me, which would have the backend, which would say um, take the request, which would respond to the request, the data would be processed. All of those things I will do on my own, right? All, if I have if say suppose one computer can have 1,000 students connected to it, how many computers would I need for connecting 1 crore students? I have one machine connecting to 1,000 students. How many machines for 1 CR students? How many machines would I need for 1 crore students? 1 crore divided by 10,000. 1 crore divided by 10,000. That is the number of machines that I would need to run. Yes, that is the number of machines that I would need to run, right? Everyone aligned? Now, if I am going to need that many machines, how would these machines talk to each other? How would I decide which machine should get the request of Kunal, which should get the request of Anjali, which should get the request of Aditya, which should get the request of Ayan? How would it know? How would the machine know that this is the particular machine that my request should go to, right? There are so many machines, they have to coordinate with each other. These machines have to talk to each other. These machines have to, some machines would sometimes go down, some machines are going to go up, some machines are going to crash. All of this is required to be done, right? Yes. So all of this is done by your cloud computing and infrastructure engineers. They would make sure that all the machines are in place, all the servers are running. How many servers do I need? What is the configuration of each server? All of this is going to be taken care by your, all of this is going to be taken care by your infrastructure and cloud computing engineer. They make sure that your servers are up and running. So imagine that you are watching a match on Hotstar and suddenly MS Dhoni comes to bat. Now, how many people suddenly start joining in, right? Now, if I told you one machine supports 1,000 people, suddenly MS Dhoni came to bat, 1 crore people started joining in. The machines have to scale up. You have to add so many more machines in order to add so many more servers so that it would be supported, right? All of this is taken care by your cloud computing and infrastructure engineer, right? Let me just go to the next part of engineering, which is known as game development and VR and AR. You would have heard very recently that Facebook changed its name to Meta, right? Facebook changed its name to Meta, right? Why? What is this metaverse? What do you exactly do in this metaverse? What exactly happens in this metaverse? What happens in this metaverse? Why do we need this metaverse? Why do we need this metaverse? It's a virtual world, right? It's a virtual world, right? Basically, what happens in this meta is that you, have you seen this newer sort of things that is there, where they put a goggles kind of a thing on your eyes and you can play cricket. It's like exactly real cricket, right? You would have seen these Apple Vision goggles, right? All of these are built to give you the real world experience of experiencing something. So I experienced this Apple Vision goggles, and in that there was a game in which there is a dinosaur or something, and it came so, I felt that it came so close to me. I was surprised and shocked that even when I knew it is not real, I got shocked, right? So all of this is something that is going to be the future of our world, where people are going to put on those and walk on the roads where they can walk directly. And they, if they want to have a map in that, they can have a map in that. They want to play games in it, they can play games in it. The tech is still improving. These goggles are extremely heavy on your head, so it becomes difficult for you to, sometimes you get headaches, you get migraines because of these goggles as well. But as we go ahead, people are going to invest a lot on these technologies. People are going to have these technologies are going to take over. And mo- probably in 10 to 15 years you will see more and more people utilizing these. Right now it's expensive because the chips are expensive, the semiconductors are expensive, but these are going to be your next big thing as you go ahead. So game development and VR AR is where your 3JS and multiple more technologies like these are utilized to, in order to help you imagine things in a more realistic and real way and real manner. All right, this is what your game development VR and AR is. When video calls came into picture, it was a big thing. When I was a kid, at that time we didn't even used to have mobile phones. Then mobile phones became bigger, then video calls became bigger. Now slowly these things are going to become bigger, where you would can have a person, you can feel the presence of a person right in to those goggles, where those would be next to you. So all of this is done using different animations. So I'll show you one example, 3JS. So what 3JS is, it's a JavaScript library which helps you build 3D characters, right? Which builds you three lets you build 3D characters. You can see this also. See, have you seen the 3JS before? See, this is all 3D that has been built using JavaScript. How beautifully it has been done, right? How beautiful it looks. So all of these visualizations can be imagined because of technologies like these. Imagine this in 100x scale, where your these kind of images would be formed in your eyes. But this is majorly used to make build games. 3JS is majorly used to build games. See, this is a game, right? These games are built using 3JS. All of these animations are built using 3JS. All right. So this is what your game development and what your VR and AR is. Let me jump to the next in the interest of time. In the interest of time, let me just jump to the next. Next comes your human computer interaction, HCI and UI UX, right? Have you heard of this domain? So basically what happens in this is that you would be making the UX for a website. UX for a website. So what is UX for a website? Basically UX means user experience. User experience. So now when you go to a website and you say that, yeah, it's not that easy to navigate through these websites. When I open a website, some people say I am very used to Swiggy in ordering food. Some people say I'm very used to Zomato in ordering food. I like the experience of how ordering food is there in Zomato. Some people say I like it in Swiggy, right? You would have heard of this. Some people say I like using Flipkart more. Some people say I like using Amazon more, right? All of this is user experience, how you are able to experience the website of the how you are able to experience the website, right? If you use Uber or Ola, when you try to cancel an app, you would see that the red button is usually stay and white button is usually cancel. In Actually it should be that the red button should be to cancel and white button should be to stay. but they interchange it so that you do not cancel that easily. So most of the websites have user experiences built around this, that once you take an action, they are able to make as much money as they can once you enter the system. So once you enter a system, my job is to make sure that you stay in the system as long as you can, so that you spend as much time as you can, and you end up spending as much money as you can. This is a sort of start strategy that people use for user experience in order to help a person spend more time and make the company earn more money. This is what UI and user experience and human computer interaction is. And you could also choose a domain of this sort in order to become, once you are starting to graduate, once you start to become an engineer, you could become an engineer who does this as well, right? Then there is something known as research and academia, which is basically, you would have heard of terms like this person is a research scientist, right? You would have heard that this person is a research scientist, or this person is doing research in, this person is doing a PhD, right? All of these technologies that you would see are changing, AI comes into the picture, is all because of the research scientists. It happens because of the computer science scientists, where they will study, write paper on how neural networks work, how these chips work, how artificial intelligence works, how the data is gathered, how it is collected in a easier way, right? All of this is done by research analysts. And second is where you could become a professor, a teacher, or a you could become a lecturer in some college, where you would be teaching students how computer programming works, how robotics works, how artificial intelligence works. So these are also some of the careers that you can choose, that you can choose in order to become a in order to start your professional journey. So you could either go into research, you could become a doctor in computer science, or you could become a professor, or you could become a teacher. All of these fields are also very interesting, and you could end up taking any of these fields in order to go into a professional journey, in order to get into a professional career, right? I think I've covered majorly what I wanted to cover, right? uh, so basically, let me just take few questions from you, and then kindly share the PPT link. Yes, we will do that by the end of the session, you don't have to worry about that. Which is the best language to start with coding? The best language to start with coding, I would say, is JavaScript, C++, Java, Python. Some of the languages that I would recommend to you. Cybersecurity is basically when you are preventing hacking, or we are preventing DDoS attacks or phishing attacks or attacks that could take your system down, is cybersecurity, Ishan. And you could get into any of this. Go to Germany for masters. Okay, Manisha has a advice for everyone. PhD to study abroad, how much money have I got? I am not the best person to answer that, but in healthcare sector and education sector, AI can be used. Yes, it is being used very, very much right now, Santosh. Yes, we will cover all of that. I think, yes, people have a lot of questions around what NSET is, how to take the psychometric tests. If you are on the call, maybe we can start with that and help our students. Um,
Yeah, so I'm here to answer all your questions. And I think for the psychometric, right, psychometric test will be shared with all of you on your email within next 2 to 3 days. Now let's understand why psychometric test is important, right? Like, and what does it tell you and what it not tell you. A psychometric test will clearly not tell you which career you need to pursue. So if, let's say if you give a psychometric test and you get something. Now that's not like 100% that you only have to pursue that, right? That gives you an indicative answer of what your areas of strength might be, right? Psychometric test is a evaluation test which does not require any preparation. It helps you discover your career based on your areas of interest and strengths. That's what a psychometric does at its best. Okay, perfect. Now it will come to you guys in 2 to 3 days. Now answering all your questions around SST and NSET. Okay, I'll simply do one thing. I'll share the SST's website. I think all of you must visit that website, and I will answer all the questions using SST's website. That's the best way to do it because all the details are there. So allow me a second. I'm sharing SST's website. Quick question, and I think before I start sharing, so the question is very simple. Are you applying or planning to apply for scalar NSET? So I'll understand, right? Like, already applied. Perfect. Okay, excellent. Now I've got some idea. Now I'm sharing my screen. I'll show you how to prepare for scalar NSET examination. So that perfect. So firstly, everybody, please know the dates for applying. So the next available date right now is 26th April. There is an entrance exam, and 27th April there is an entrance exam. But the deadline for both exams is 24th April. Ideally, try to apply as early as possible because in early intakes like April, your chance of selection is slightly higher. In May, June, it can get very competitive because more people are applying, right? So NSET is an online exam. It's a 2-hour online examination which you basically end up giving. So the process is very simple. You need to be under the age of 20 by July 1st, 2025 and have minimum 16 your 12th maths. So if you don't have 16 12th maths yet because your board results are not out, that's okay. We'll give you a provisional offer. So once your board results come in, you need to share your details. Number two, you need to fill an online application with all your details. Third, you need to attempt the scalar NSET exam. It's usually between 11 to 1 on 26th and 27th April. The deadline is 24th April. It's a 2-hour long online examination. Online exam is you need a laptop for giving the examination or a computer with a webcam. Your webcam has to be on. Okay, so that is mandatory. Now the best part about scalar NSET is that you do not require physics or chemistry. Okay, best part, you do not have to prepare for physics or chemistry. So no more mugging up the exceptions for chemistry and no more struggles with your physics. By the way, for all those who want the psychometric exam, please fill the form which is added to the notice board. So it's a part of our feedback event. It's a part of our feedback which all students fill. So once you fill that, we know that you have attended the session successfully. The syllabus is very simple. Syllabus for NSET is mathematics and logical reasoning. So you can expect in mathematics, permutation combination, sequence series, probability, word problems, APGP, arithmetic problems like some of linear algebra problems, Bayes theorem, reminder theorem, something like that. These are broadly what different topics are. Second is logical reasoning. Here you can expect work time speed, uh, time distance kind of problems. You can expect directions. A lot of different word problems can come in logical reasoning. right? So exam has only two components, mathematics and logical reasoning, because all you require is mathematics and logical reasoning for computer science. You don't require physics or chemistry, right? Perfect. So far NSET is clear. Once you give the NSET examination, the next step is once you clear the exam, you get a shortlist. Now there are two ways to get shortlisted for the interview. Way number one is you score really well on NSET exam, and that's how you get shortlisted for interview. Way number two is something called as a profile-based shortlisting. So let's say if you have really high JE scores, let's say 95, 96, 97 and above, you have good BITSAT or SAT scores. If you have a top 100 rank in Olympiads, maths or science Olympiads, if you already are a tech enthusiast, have built some tech projects, have some GitHub commits, code forces commits, then we will consider you for that. And even if you score lower than the cutoff in the NSET exam, you will still get shortlisted for the interview. Then there are two rounds of interview. First round is taken by AI companion of Scalar, which Siddharth sir was talking about, and second round is taken by our faculties and mentors. After you clear both the rounds, you get accepted and you get an offer letter from us, and you have to accept that within a certain time span. So typically when 100 students give exam, roughly 3 to 4 students get accepted. Right? So that's how you get your offer within 7 days. So far NSET is very clear, everyone. Then we will move to the degree. Give me a thumbs up if NSET is clear. If not clear, ask question. Guys, you're 100 people. NSET is clear. 2-hour long online examination. Mathematics and logical reasoning at syllabus. Coding is not required, Ishan, but you require to be good at mathematics. That's all you require. You need to be good at maths. Perfect. Okay. So I think NSET is clear. Now let me talk about degree. So our students, all our students pursue. So since Scalar is a new age college, like all our faculties are like Siddharth sir, coming from the industry, have been technical leaders from Google, Microsoft and companies like that, right? Plus our curriculum is very advanced. So you learn very hands-on by building projects at SST, right? Also our program is divided into three parts. It is essentially 2 plus 1 plus 1, what we call it, right? So Scalar's program is a fully residential program. It's called 2 plus 1 plus 1 program. What is 2 plus 1 plus 1? First 2 years we build foundation. So all the languages which Siddharth sir spoke about, we teach you in the first 2 years, so that you have developed mastery over syntax, problem solving and computational thinking. Third year is when you can specialize in AI, machine learning. You can specialize in algorithmic trading. And if you are not very good at coding or you don't like coding, then you can specialize in engineering leadership, where you do technical product management and program management in the third year. The fourth year is the USP of SST, which is industry immersion. We are the only college in India which offers a 1-year industry immersion, wherein students can work on projects, industry projects. We bring companies on campus for internships. Students work on innovation lab projects guided by top tech leaders and mentors. Just to give you some idea, out of this is the kind of curriculum you study. So you learn by doing, which means that there is no theory, no mugging up, no theory papers. It's all about building projects. So in first 2 years, you build like a Canva website, a full stack development project. When you build a social media app, you are building your own e-commerce websites. In third year, you are learning specialization. So you are building like a blockchain decentralized marketplace, text summarization platforms, Duolingo like AI teachers, recommendation engines. So this is what you're doing in third year. And in fourth year, you are doing internships. You are doing industry projects, or you are building your own startups. Now, within 1.5 year of their college life, a second 110 plus number. The number right now is 150. 150 plus students currently in the second year of SST have secured internships at top companies like Swiggy, Piramal, Pathscare, Freecharge, and many more. So you can see the stories here also on LinkedIn, so that it's valid, it's verified. Now, what's most interesting is Last year, 128 per students had more than 90 percentile in JEE, and highest was 99.4. And we had 30% of our batch, students in our batch, 30% of them had offers from IIT, Triple IT, BITS, but they chose Scalar School of Technology. Now coming to the degree. Since we are such a new age program, our curriculum is unique, our program structure is different, we don't give degrees of our own. We prepare you to have the right skill set. We teach you the languages, the computational thinking. We teach you how to develop the right skills, data structure, algorithms, web development, so that you get equipped to get a job at a top tech company, right, or a top tech startup. But so that you can have more scope of expanded opportunities, all our students are recommended to pursue either of the two degrees. One is a BS in Data Science and Applications with IIT Madras, or a BSc Honors in Computer Science with BITS Pilani, right? So all our students pursue these degrees. Once you do these degrees along with our program, you can then go and do a PhD, MTech, give a UPSC exam, give GATE, give a GRE, GMAT, go abroad, and your opportunities are significantly higher. And that's why we recommend all students, and all students have to mandatorily pursue either of the two degrees when they're enrolled with SST. Right? Now, why a BS and not a BTech? Good question. Scalar School of Technology, we are building Ivy League of India. Ivy League for Indian computer science education, right? So our founder Anshuman sir has built Facebook, right? So he comes from Silicon Valley mindset where BTech B are very Indianized degrees. We want to build something which is globally recognized. So let's say if I just go to Harvard's website, I go to Harvard University's website. Let's try to see what they call their undergraduate degrees, right? Undergraduate degrees. So we are at Harvard's website right now. Let's look at what they call their computer science degree. Look at it. They have a bachelor's in arts in computer science. It's a BA, right? They have a BA literally in computer science. Let's look at MIT. Let's look at Stanford. What does Stanford call its undergraduate programs? I'm going on academics. Stanford undergrad. So let's look at programs. Again, their programs are also BA or BSc programs. At Stanford also you will find BA or BSc programs. At Harvard also you will find the same. At MIT also you will find similar programs. So we wanted to maintain international standards. That's why we went forward with the BS programs. I hope this answers your question. We want our students to be globally competent tech leaders. So we want to do what is globally most recognized. About placement, so again, we have 1200 plus companies who come on SST campus for recruiting activities. So we have a proper campus placement mechanism, a professional team of 120 plus professionals who have specialized in placements. They come and handle placements for SST. Now question around scholarship. We have two types of scholarships. We have a merit scholarship. So let's say if you're above 97, 98 percentile in JEE, you do really well in your academics, you have great extracurriculars in tech. In all these cases, you can get a merit-based scholarship if you have done well in Olympiads, right? Then there is a need-based scholarship. So if you have done really well, but financially you can't afford, we also have scholarship to that. Scholarships vary from 20% to 80%. So these are the different type of scholarships we have at SST. So Samika, the way they work is, right, like, so Scalar's curriculum is a superset. So when you study the Scalar's rigorous curriculum, you can easily clear the exams of IIT Madras or BITS Pilani, right? In that case, all our students are enrolled in the program. So we prepare you separately for some specific topics which they have. So we take care of teaching you and for IIT Madras or BITS Pilani exams. You take those exams, those BITS Pilani exams happen on our campus, and most likely IIT Madras exams will also be conducted on our campus itself. I mean that all of you go through the admission page at SST. All your questions will be solved there in detail. Like again, I can answer you in 2 to 3 minutes, but I want you all to go and do some effort on doing your own independent research. It is a big decision. So spend some time reading, doing your own individual research. So there are no minimum cutoff marks per se, right? It depends on intake to intake, how competitive it gets. Average package. So for internship, I can tell you it's around 25-30,000 rupees a month. They're getting internship stipend. Okay, I guess if I've answered all your questions, you can also download the brochure from the website. Sanskar, if you have 53 marks in 12th board maths, unfortunately, you're not eligible to apply for SST. You need 60 minimum. Okay, can after 12th PCM and IT student direct learn coding from basics? You can learn again. Vajra, the placements at SST are more than great. We have 1,200 plus companies partnered with us. Like all your Google, Microsofts, and Amazons have all relationships with us, right? Second is how do you start learning? I would suggest anybody who wants to start learning how to code, start with Python. You can do data analytics, you can do AI and machine learning, everything with Python. So Python is the easiest language to also start learning. So when I started learning coding, I am right now learning SQL because for me, data science is more relevant. So I'm learning that, and then eventually I'll move to Python. Priyanshu, the PPT also will be shared with all of you, which Siddharth sir was showing. A psychometric test will be coming on your email. HTML, CSS is perfect. CS or mechanical. I think computer science has 80% of job opportunities today are in computer science, out of which in future 90% of those 80% opportunities in computer science are going to be in AI. Interesting, Samika. I think both you can compare and see yourself what works for you. Okay, Ayan Kazri, please career in AI PC. Again, Ayan, I will simply tell you start studying Python first. Start learning basics of Python, go advanced. Then slowly, okay, you start with NumPy and Pandas first in Python. NumPy and Pandas. Then look at LangChain, LangFlow. Look at PyTorch. With PyTorch, you can basically build your own AI bots, AI agents. So slowly, steadily progress. I think robotics, everything will have AI. Manufacturing will have AI. Finance will have AI. Robotics will have AI. So AI is a common theme across all fields today. Prerequisites are for joining SSTR, you need to have 16, 12th, and you should be under the age of 20. Then you can apply. You need to have maths as a mandatory subject in your 12th. I'll tell you what to do. If you want to get some just on AI, coding, tech, I'm sharing our YouTube channel. Scalar YouTube channel has everything you can think of for tech and AI. I am also adding on the top SST. See, I can tell you a lot of things, but it is about self-discovery. Now, what next? Go if you're interested. Go next and apply to SST. Start learning on what Siddharth sir had said. Take a psychometric test. So there are a lot of next steps you can take. How to learn basics of Python? There are a lot of YouTube channels you can look at. Honestly, it's very easy to get started. Manisha, you can apply to NSET after BITSAT May, but it will get competitive that time. That and we are okay with you doing that. But June, July are where everybody applies. No, April I recommend people to apply because April is still early intake. Competition is limited. So your chances of getting are slightly higher than what it would be in a June, July. June, July is very difficult. April, May are still doable. Okay, I hope I have been able to answer all your questions. Thank you, everyone. So, Manisha, if you do really well in our entrance, our process, right, you still can get scholarships. We really value students who are meritocratic. Okay, everyone, have a good day. Wishing you all the best for all your upcoming entrance examinations. Uh, do check out all the things which we have added on the notice board. PPT link will be shared with all of you on email. I'll actually put it on chat also. Let me just put it on chat. I am adding. Yeah, done. I've added it. Thank you, everyone. If I'm not able to solve DSA problem, is it okay? Of course, Dharmesh, it's very tough to solve DSA problems on Lead Code at this age. So it's okay. You don't need to solve that right now. We'll teach you how to solve it more effectively.